All right. Good morning, traders. This is the morning brief. My name is Corey. It is Wednesday. Oh man, excuse me, March 24th. Let's take a look at what's going on in the S&P 500 futures here. So yesterday incurred a really big sell-off. Let's take a look. We're on the time variable profile right now. Let's take a look back at the regular volume profile. So, yesterday I called out early in the morning that I thought it was likely to be choppy. The primary reason for that was that we were opening up within yesterday's value area. So anytime you're opening up within the value area, it's essentially, the market is essentially expressing that sentiment hasn't really changed, and therefore you're more likely to get a very choppy day. And we certainly did get that for the majority of the day. However, in the end of the session, after we couldn't find any more traction to the upside, we got this massive trap, big spike to the downside. All these longs got liquidated in conjunction with everybody from yesterday's activity. Note that we did try going up on low volume yesterday, so that was our first kind of red flag. And a beautiful sell-off there. Now, in the overnight session, we have a double distribution trend going on. So you can see this very characteristic B-shaped volume profile with one area of consolidation, a breakout, and then another area of consolidation. So basically what the market is saying is we think that higher prices are where it's at. However, the market needs to pause every once in a while and kind of reestablish its convictions, or just kind of regain some confidence, basically. You can see, look at how many times this high has been tested, though, right here in the overnight session. It's been tested again and again and again. That is a perfect week high. So again, if you were with me the other day, a week high is also known as an unfinished auction. So therefore, we know that people are still believing that higher prices, that this should be valued at higher prices. So right now, we're basically just within a very tight trading range. So this area right here is just a very tight trading range. So normally what I recommend doing in these kinds of areas is trying to get in long somewhere around this low volume node. This area right here is called a low volume node on the volume profile because clearly there's very low volume that was traded here. And these areas are natural support and resistance. So if you can get in long using this low volume node for your stop, which is the best way to use them, as, like I said, they provide support and resistance. You get in long here at the bottom of the range. You put your stop right down here in the LVN because you're unlikely to get stopped out. And I am looking for a breakout and for this weak high to get taken out there. So ultimately, my bias is long. However, we're again opening up in value. So I'm expecting more of a rotational day. One thing to note, though, I mean, if we look at our profile right here, one thing is really easy to read for me, and that's that the majority of our volume is taking place within this region. So this is, in my opinion, what we can consider value. So horrible handwriting. I apologize about that. I'm not even going to keep this up. I'm just going to leave the square because that's atrocious. But basically, yeah, this is what the market is basically considering value. So this area is like one big magnet, okay? And the market's always trying to price itself in, and it's probing higher, lower, and it's trying to find levels where people can agree on prices, the buyer and seller, and the market comes into equilibrium. In any event, so this area, like I said, it's kind of a magnet. I am expecting us to break this week high here and probably come up here and test this level at 39.30, because this is clearly, you can see all this volume. This is like the point of control of this big area of value, 39.30. So the market is in balance. But the other thing that's cool is that we do have a bit of a false breakout. So down here in this region from yesterday's spike and then the overnight session, this area is a bit of a false breakout. One thing to keep in mind though, so anytime you get a really big spike like this, there are two main areas that you want to pay attention to. So like the tip of the spike, that's going to provide support and resistance. And then the base of the spike, which I would say is right about here, that's going to provide support and resistance. In order for this spike to be confirmed, so to speak, the market cannot trade back into this area. If it trades back into this area, the spike was not confirmed, and therefore it becomes a false breakout. So what could happen, and I don't know if these sellers come back in, which it very much could happen, we could drop down again, take out this low, and then continue to trade lower. I don't know what's going to happen. It just depends on the level of commitment of these guys that shorted yesterday. But like I said, we have this weak high right here, and that is an unfinished auction, and those areas tend to be broken. May not be broken today, but it will be broken at some point in the future. So that's basically, it's really these two levels I want to be paying attention to. If it breaks up here, I'm long. If it breaks down here, I'm short. So we'll see what happens. In any event, let's take a look at some equities here. Now, I did a little bit of research ahead of time here. Let me fix my chart. Let's see. I have my fisheye on my phone today, by the way. I hope you guys can see all right. I can move the camera a little bit closer if that's helpful, but I figured it'd be easier to get more of my monitor in there that way. Okay, so I went up to Market Chameleon and I just checked out the pre-market gainers, like most active, biggest pre-market gainers, and I just kind of looked at stuff, in descending order by volume, and I was really looking at stuff that hadn't like really moved a ton yet, but may provide us a good opportunity. So let's see here. All right, so GNUS, this guy definitely has strong pre-market activity. This is where we closed at, and this is where we're currently trading at right here. So it's about a 20-cent spike. This is ticker GNUS. So basically, we're right at an area of resistance. And potentially, if we're able to get a break above this level, we've got quite a bit of ways to the upside. If I zoom out here, you can see, sorry, let me do something like that. So you can see that we have a lot more room to the upside, a lot more. This goes all the way up to, let's see, $12. And we're currently trading at $2.87. I don't know if this particular company had news today or what. I'm not a fundamentals trader. In any event, though, if we get a possible breakout above 302, my next level is at $4 basically. So you could potentially make $1 on this trade. Again, that's ticker GNUS or more. I don't know how high this thing is going to go, but we're right at a key level here that could be broken. All right, again, guys, if you have any stocks you want me to check, as always, please throw them in the chat so we can check them out together. The more you guys ask questions, the more you share, bring forward stuff to look at, the more it helps everybody learn. So I don't care if you're shy, throw it in the chat. Let's break some stuff down. So, while we're Intel, you got it. All right, we'll come back to AMC there. All right, so whoa, did this thing? Where the hell are we trading at in pre-market? Oh, you know what? I'm on the wrong ticker. That's why. There we go. I was like, where is this pre-market trading at? Okay, so Intel, very, very big gap up here. Holy crud. All right, so DLPN, you got it. Let me write that down. DLPN. Okay, so Intel, very strong gap up here. I mean, you can see that we are right at this. Mark some of these levels here. Okay, so you can see that we are right at this support region, and in pre-market we've just blown past it. So we are breaking out as we speak, or we're basically right at the breakout zone. So because this is what I would consider a weak high, I'd be looking for a breakout above this level with continuation to the upside. Now, as far as targets goes, let's zoom out to maybe a 4 hour so we can try and see. This may be the all-time. Nope, not quite the all-time high. Okay, so you can see we do have some resistance up here. There's another key level at 68.10. Let's see. All right, that's probably it. So I would be looking for us to break out of where we're at and most definitely trade up to 68.10, if not 69.40 or higher. So I think this is a solid entry point as long as that breakout continues and doesn't, normally when I trade breakouts, I keep a pretty tight stop. Sorry for switching around a bunch. So let's look at the 1 hour again. So normally what I recommend, or what I do anyways, is I would enter, on the breakout, and then I put my stop right inside the previous range. So if this thing fails, then it's going to stop me out pretty early and I won't take much of a loss, because it should hold that level. Okay, all right, so let's check out DLPN here. And yep, I think this is one of those massive, massive, massive pre-market gainers. To be honest, this is not something that this is, if you're trying to trade this, you're really just buying a lottery ticket, to be honest. I'm going back for about a year here, and I don't have any targets. Okay, no, we do have one target, and it's the all-time. We traded right up to the all-time high right here, as you can see. So yeah, this thing, like I said, if you're trading this, you're essentially just buying a lottery ticket. God knows what it's gonna do next. It's already gapped up this much. It went from $17.98, gapped up to $28. That's a $10 gain just in pre-market. The further that you go, and it's just, think about an auction, guys. So if you're at an art auction or something and prices are really, really low, you're going to have a lot of people bidding. But as prices go higher, you're going to have less and less and less people bidding. So this is where you have a lot of people bidding. And then as prices move higher, you're going to only have, essentially one guy left at the end. So basically, you get to a point of exhaustion, and the market is a constant two-way auction, basically. Auctions to the upside. Hey, Wandering Soul. Auctions to the upside, and then it auctions to the downside. So it's just, it's going to look something like that. Um, my point is, eventually this thing's going to get up to such a point where people are going to start thinking that the prices are unfair for the buyer, and it's going to need to, you're going to get responsive sellers coming in and people shorting the crap out of this. So to be honest, if you're trading this, I really feel like it's a lottery ticket. If it breaks above the all-time high, sure, maybe get in, but I mean, you're the laggard at that point. So yeah, you got it, bud. Thanks for bringing it up. I appreciate it. Okay, what was the next? Sundial. I did notice Sundial had very, very heavy volume in pre-market. At least I thought I did. Might need to double check. I do remember it was on the most active pre-market. Um, uh, most active pre-market stocks. But there's like no price movement. We're opening right where we closed at yesterday. So you can see we're at a very clear support region right here. Okay, we do have a bit of a V bottom going on. There's our 100% retracement that we want to look for when we're looking for V bottoms. So this could be a solid entry point though. I mean, the thing that I like about it is that you can enter right here, and you've got pretty good potential to the upside, and you get to have a very nice tight stop. So this pivot low right here, that would be a decent level to put one stop at, because if it breaks through 109, I really think it's probably going to continue lower. So I mean, you've got a 10 cent, 12-cent stop at that point, which is beautiful. So yeah, I think this is a great entry point. Like I said, it had heavy volume in pre-market, but very little price movement. So I think once it gains some momentum, this could be a decent entry. That being said, though, this is a pretty strong pullback. So just like I said, keep your stop tight. Like I said, and that way, if you do take a loss, it's not going to be a very big one. Okay, we got 10 minutes till the open, guys. If there's anything else you have in mind, please throw it in the chat. I'm just going to pull up a couple other tickers here while we're waiting. So this is BCLI, or Brainstorm Cell Therapeutics. Very big pre-market gainers. So here's our gap up. You can see that's our invisible spike, so to speak. We're right at the base of this gap. And well, gaps are very poor structure. I mean, you can see we've just got this giant open space on the chart, very ugly, and the market likes to come back and repair this poor structure. It doesn't necessarily do it the same day. However, if this level breaks, if we can break above $5 and break back into this gap zone, I think we're likely to trade all the way up at a minimum to fill this gap. So you could take this thing from $5 up to $6.55 about, and that's a pretty solid gain. Again, this is BCLI, and like I said, this is clearly it's got a ton of pre-market activity already. We have a beautiful V bottom right here, over a 100% retracement. So clearly, people are responding to these lower prices. I think this is a fairly it pulled back from the. You could see it just ticked down a little bit, which is actually not a bad thing, because that means you get to get in at lower prices. Anyways, if we can break back into that gap zone, which I think it will at some point, this would be a very, very profitable trade. So, okay. And then the last one I've got here is AMC. Now, AMC has been pretty bearish the last couple days. I'm going to try and make it a little bit easier to see for you guys. Hopefully that's good. Okay. So you can see on AMC here, we had this ascending triangle, and I originally was bullish on this, but you can see that we failed. We had this big gap down right here where we spit out the bottom of this ascending triangle, trapped out all of these longs, and and continue to break down, and we're opening right here, basically right at the trend line. So whichever ways this goes, it's a pretty high probability trade. If the longs decide to come back in and give us a bounce, I think this is a great long entry. If it fails and we spit out the bottom of this trend line, we're just gonna trap out more longs, gonna get more liquidation, and potentially trade down here to $5.18. Albeit I don't know which way this is going to go, either way offers very good opportunity. So this is also one of the very active stocks here in pre-market, and it's not a huge surprise why, because we're right at this key level, and if it breaks, we're either gonna get a nice continued uptrend, or we're gonna get a very substantial breakdown. So yeah, for you options guys, it's a perfect strangle or straddle, or whatever those are, where you buy both a call and a put, and then you just take the one off that loses. All right guys, we got 6 minutes till the open here. Let's take a peek back and see what the S&P is doing. So we are still just chopping away here. So again, the big question in my mind is this spike gonna be confirmed and we're gonna trade lower, or is this weak high going to get taken out and we're going to trade back into yesterday's value area? So we'll just have to see how it goes here. Like I said, these are my two key levels that I'm looking at, about 39.10 and 39.20, something like that. So yeah, again, these are the S&P futures, ticker symbol ES. If we look at, one thing that I always do is I always look at the other indexes. Ticker symbol, please. This ticker symbol, this is ticker symbol ES. These are futures though. So if you're on TradingView, I usually type in, like, if you type in ES, that'll bring up the E-mini S&P futures. And I usually click this one, ES1 exclamation point. So that's called the continuous contract. Futures trading contracts. So you'll have every couple months, there's a new contract that comes out. Typically people are going to, there's multiple contracts. You can get futures contracts that are going out 6 months, 9 months, 10 months from now. But most people are going to trade the front month contract, or the one that expires the most quickly, right? So basically, you're always trading a different ticker, every couple months, basically. But this particular symbol on TradingView here, it's the ES1 exclamation point. It will combine all those contracts and have it all on one chart, basically. So you have one continuous, view, and it's not all like broken up into pieces, and you don't have to constantly like put in the new ticker every couple months for the new contract. So again, this is ES1 exclamation point. That's the ticker symbol. And I really hope, as stock traders, you guys have a huge advantage, because you can look at what futures have done in the overnight session, and that educates you about your trading decisions. Because, the SPY, the SPX, that stuff doesn't trade 24 or 23 hours like futures do. So you can go and look, like say you really like to trade the leveraged oil ETFs. You can come and look at the oil futures. This is ticker symbol CL. And on TradingView, we just type in CL1H, or excuse me, CL1 exclamation point. That gives us the continuous contract. You can see right here, CL1. So if you like trading oil a lot, you can look at what oil has done in the overnight session, and that will give you a sneak peek as per what the stock is likely to do in the morning during pre-market. It's just it's an incredible advantage. So I really hope that you guys learn to look at the futures market before the open, see what it's done in the overnight session, and it will give you a really big edge in your trading. So in any event, guys, we are going to wrap it up here. We have 2 minutes till the open. So I'm gonna get out of here. Like I said, with the S&P today, the main thing we're just watching is if we trade back inside this major area of balance up here. So, like I said, 39.10, 39.20, those are my key levels. I'm just going to look at whichever one breaks. The main question is, will this spike get confirmed? If it is confirmed, I think we're likely to take out the overnight low and continue lower with strength. If it is not confirmed and we break up higher, we're likely to chop around in this area for quite some time and then probably get a breakout to the upside at some point. So that's my bias, and I'm sticking to it. I wish you guys the best of luck today. Trade smart, watch your risk, and we will see you tomorrow morning. Thanks so much.